created by the stakes or ropes is concerned, that is also very understandable as far as I am concerned, because the Holy Quran itself throws the light on this subject. It says they did not actually produce or transform the ropes into snakes. What they did was they cast a spell on the eyes of the onlookers, and as such the ropes appeared in the imagination of the people around to have turned into snakes. So what the staff did was, it broke that spell. And that is all. They suddenly saw the snakes disappearing. So that is the meaning of eating up those ropes, those snakes. Excellent. Please. Yes, please. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Yes, I heard you.
I find it very refreshing and inspiring.
Could you please come closer to the microphone?
I find it very refreshing and also very inspiring to see the commitment of those who have made a conscious decision to embrace Islam and Ahmadiyya. However, at the same time, I'm also aware of much apathy and lack of interest in many of our young ladies who have no desire or intention of seeking knowledge or nearness to Allah, as many others do. How do you propose that we should deal with this situation and help our young ladies to develop the same enthusiasm that our new ladies are showing?
Yes, a very good question. I think there are so many possible answers which I could give you. Number one, always begin with prayers, because the Holy Quran has very clearly laid down that hearts are in the power of Allah and no man can change the hearts. Here the heart refers to the will of the people. If they want to have something, they will have interest in that. If they don't want to have something, they will shut their eyes to it. This is in fact the same question which has been asked before, and the answer is also the same. So if the people have no desire in something good, you should always begin with praying to Allah to make them interested. And it depends on your earnestness of prayer and how seriously you take the prayers to be able to bring about changes in the real life, that the prayers will be responded to. It has a direct relationship to your attitude to prayer and your earnestness. So I'm quite certain, and this is my experience throughout my life, that things begin to happen after an earnest prayer in this direction. People who have no interest in goodness previously, they begin to show some interest, and with the grace of Allah, one man's prayer for another man becomes a boon for him. Secondly, put this question to your own psyche, to your own self. If you are not interested in something, why are you not interested in it? What can make you interested in that thing? Now, it's a law of nature that operates in every man. Everyone begins to take interest in something which he finds of interest to himself or herself. Otherwise, there will be no interest in anything else. We become interested in food only when you feel hungry. Otherwise, the same food just loses all meaning to us. So, to create desire and hunger in someone requires many measures. If somebody is diseased, then you have to diagnose the cause and find out what disease is responsible for that lack of interest, which you see in every healthy person as a natural phenomenon. Why some people lose interest in food, which is essential for their survival? So there, the cause and effect would come into play after you have correctly diagnosed the person. That is why hikmah has been repeatedly mentioned in the Quran as the first step towards conversions, towards inviting people to the path of Allah. So you must understand this and then try to create some interest. Now, the simple answer can be very complicated or varying in application to different people in different situations. But one answer I can give you of general application is this, that according to my experience, people become interested in people first and then in ideas, not directly in ideas. Particularly if the ideas are such as require a change in their life and a change in their society, etc., then the principle of equilibrium would work against the new idea, because we don't want to be disturbed. They are happy where they are. So you have to find out ways and means how to make them realize that they should not be happy. They are not happy. They need something. So that would be creating interest in the idea. But the other part, which is easier and which generally works, is the fact that you behave in a manner that people start taking interest in you. They are surprised and happily surprised by your conduct. The way you conduct yourself in a society, if you conduct yourself with goodness and with consciousness to spread goodness, you have to not only be good in yourself, but you should give a taste of your goodness to others by helping them, by being kind to them, by giving them always the right advice and so on. So once they begin to take interest in your person, they are bound to be led into the next step, which is the interest in their ideology which made you. So to be brief, I think to begin with, you start experimenting on these three things. And number one, prayer. Number two, trying to discover the underlying melody, the dyscrasia which causes this lack of desire and hunger in them for things which are good. And thirdly, the easiest path after prayer is to conduct yourself in a manner as to be of interest to people around you. Next please.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
My name is Latifa, actually.
Yes.
I'm one of the new converts.
Yes.
I just wanted to ask that if someone close to me passed away through taking their own life, which I believe to be a sin, and I continuously pray for them, could that sin be forgiven by Allah?
If you read the Quran, are you a convert from among the Christians? Are you from some African country, Nigeria, etc.?
No, Jamaica.
Jamaica, that's right, yes. But were you Christian before this?
Yeah, I was.
Yes. That is the reason why you asked this question. Because the Muslims know right from their childhood that sins can be forgiven. And nobody has to, no innocent person has to sacrifice himself for the sake of the sinful and take the burden of their sins. You can understand this issue, this question better by applying it to your own nature. At least you read in the New Testament that God has created man after his own fashion. Fashioned man after his own shape or after himself. So that is a wonderful clue to us for understanding the nature of God. So if man can forgive, why can't God? Where did the man learn the trait and very deeply founded trait to forgive? And why he forgives? What he forgives? To what extent he forgives? If you apply this question to yourself, then you will have a much deeper and truer concept of forgiveness of Allah, and you can tap this knowledge through you to your advantage. And those people who may be wrong Even in ordinary life, by mistake,